The Upachaya houses, Conscious Growth with Time, Sagittarius Rising, Part 1. From Vision to Execution, where fire finds focus and freedom learns responsibility. For Sagittarius Rising, the Upachaya houses, 3rd, 6th, 10th, and 11th, are the arenas where Jupiter's expansive optimism is tempered by strategy, structure, and service. Sagittarius is born to explore, teach, inspire, and seek truth. But these houses don't reward lofty ideals alone. They reward applied effort, consistent refinement, and outcomes grounded in action. Here, the philosopher must become the builder. The preacher must become the planner. These 4 houses test whether Sagittarius Rising will merely dream or direct those dreams toward tangible purpose. Each one demands maturity to turn curiosity into craft, belief into routine, wisdom into leadership, and vision into collaborative impact. The 3rd house, Aquarius, intellectual will, collective thought, and detached communication. Activated ages 3, 15, 27, 39, 51, 63, 75. With Aquarius ruling the 3rd house, Sagittarius Rising refines their communication style through objectivity, invention, and wide-view logic. In early life, this may manifest as aloofness with siblings, rebellion in early education, or anxiety around group interaction. But over time, Sagittarius learns to temper passionate speech with strategic thinking. This house matures into mastery of platforms, digital communication, and rational debate. Aquarius here turns the Sagittarian instinct to proclaim into a gift for idea sharing that elevates others. The native is asked to replace impulsive opinion with visionary precision. The 6th house Taurus, patient routine, grounded service, and body-based wisdom. Activated ages 6, 18, 30, 42, 54, 66, 78. With Venus-ruled Taurus in the 6th, Sagittarius Rising must learn to slow down and apply effort consistently in daily life. The fire sign that craves freedom must now learn the discipline of care, routine, and ritual. Here, philosophical wisdom becomes embodied in physical rhythms, nutrition, beauty and simplicity, sensory health. In youth, there may be resistance to structure or sluggish energy toward repetitive tasks. But with time, Sagittarius learns that comfort and stability are foundations for exploration. This house rewards those who refine service, who treat the body as sacred, and who know that steady is sometimes stronger than fast. The 10th house, Virgo, leadership through precision, public intellect, and quiet excellence. Activated ages 10, 22, 34, 46, 58, 70, 82. Virgo at the top of the chart requires that Sagittarius Rising earn their influence through service and substance. This is not a placement for ego-based recognition. Virgo insists on usefulness, accuracy, and humility. Sagittarius must shift from broadcasting big truths to implementing intelligent systems that serve others. Early career paths may involve trial and error, health-related work, education, or analysis. But over time, Sagittarius Rising grows into a public role of integrity and reliability. Their credibility isn't based on charisma, but on consistent delivery, improvement, and ethical leadership. The 11th house, Libra, balanced vision, aesthetic networks, and harmony in collective goals. Activated ages 11, 23, 35, 47, 59, 71, 83. With Libra in the 11th house, Sagittarius Rising must collaborate. This house softens their rugged individualism and insists they learn grace, fairness, and the subtle power of shared dreams. In early life, they may oscillate between independence and people-pleasing or struggle with trusting group consensus. But with maturity, they become diplomatic visionaries, able to unite diverse minds for shared causes. Libra here refines how they set goals, no longer chasing them alone, but weaving them through relationship, culture, and elegance. They gain most when they uplift others, not just ideas. The Upachaya houses for Sagittarius Rising are where fire becomes functional. Aquarius in the 3rd house teaches the archer to think before preaching. Taurus in the 6th house grounds movement into routine and value. Virgo in the 10th house shapes the wandering teacher into a wise servant leader. Libra in the 11th guides them to collaborate consciously. When integrated, these houses refine raw potential into purposeful progress. Sagittarius Rising becomes not just an explorer of truth, but a steward of systems that bring that truth to life. The Upachaya houses, Conscious Growth with Time, Sagittarius Rising, Part 2. 8 most defining conjunctions in the Upachaya houses, where philosophy learns precision and expansion yields to execution. For Sagittarius rising, the Upachaya houses 3rd, Aquarius, 6th, Taurus, 10th, Virgo, and 11th, Libra, are where their big picture thinking and untamable optimism are tested against the real world. These houses don't reward faith. They reward follow-through. They demand that Sagittarius rising move beyond abstract ideals and root their truth in habit, collaboration, and public contribution. The conjunctions that occur in these houses shape how their natural fire is focused into sustainable, intelligent, and service-oriented evolution. Mercury plus Saturn in the 3rd, the strategic communicator or the fear-frozen mind. In Aquarius, this pairing gives Sagittarius rising mental clarity, system-based thinking, and a long-game approach to learning and speaking. They may become architects of reform through writing, tech, or education, but early on, it can manifest as self-doubt, rigid opinions, or difficulty trusting their voice. Maturity comes when they replace anxiety with analysis and let the mind serve the movement, not stall it. Sun plus Mercury in the 3rd, the persuasive visionary or the arrogant intellectual. This combination lends Sagittarius rising confidence in speech, clever expression, and an influential voice in group or digital settings. They're natural teachers, speakers, or media leaders. But when imbalanced, it becomes preachy, condescending, or self-absorbed. Their evolution lies in using intellect to illuminate, not dominate, and learning to listen as sharply as they speak. Moon plus Venus in the 6th, the comforting caregiver or the pleasing procrastinator. In Taurus, this gentle pair gives Sagittarius rising a soothing presence in service roles. They may work in healing, hospitality, beauty, or food industries with grace and consistency. But if afflicted, it leads to comfort-seeking over productivity or avoiding conflict in workspaces. Growth happens when they treat service as sacred and learn that discipline enhances pleasure, it doesn't erase it. Mars plus Mercury in the 6th, the technical warrior or the argumentative executor. This high-energy combo sharpens Sagittarius rising's ability to problem-solve with speed and clarity. They're capable managers, tactical workers, and rapid responders in crises. But afflicted, it causes impatience, stress-induced health issues, or combative coworker dynamics. Power is refined when they slow down to master, not just move, and lead processes without overpowering them. Sun plus Saturn in the 10th, the responsible visionary or the burdened leader. In Virgo, this grounded pair gives Sagittarius rising karmic leadership built through responsibility, precision, and perseverance. They may lead through education, analysis, or healing systems. But early on, it can feel like delayed success, emotional heaviness, or imposter syndrome. Their legacy is secured when they embrace small mastery over loud recognition and let truth shine through consistent delivery. Venus, Mercury in the 10th, the diplomatic professional or the overpolished messenger. This refined pairing lends Sagittarius rising charm, clarity, and grace in public life. They may rise in arts, communications, or refined service fields. But when unauthentic, it creates people-pleasing, image obsession, or avoiding tough calls. Maturity comes when they speak truth with elegance and build a public presence based on value, not validation. Moon's Rahu in the 11th, the intuitive organizer or the approval-seeking idealist. This emotional mental blend makes Sagittarius rising deeply intuitive about collective energy. They're drawn to spiritual communities, activist groups, or movements that feed their soul. But when afflicted, it brings instability in alliances, emotional overdependence on group approval, or confusion in setting long-term goals. Growth begins when they choose alignment over acceptance and let emotions fuel direction, not distraction. Sun plus Jupiter in the 11th, the generous visionary or the inflated ally. This bold combination gives Sagittarius rising the ability to inspire, organize, and uplift large networks. They shine as ethical leaders, mentors, or influencers in community settings. But if unevolved, it leads to ego-based moralizing, overpromising, or burnout from overextending. Their expansion is sustainable when they lead through service, not superiority, and see collective progress as the highest gain. In summary, the Upachaya houses for Sagittarius rising turn belief into building blocks. Aquarius in the 3rd transforms speech into systems thinking. Taurus in the 6th teaches value-based routine. Virgo in the 10th demands public accountability through precision. Libra in the 11th asks for emotional diplomacy and relational clarity in large-scale goals. These conjunctions show whether Sagittarius can match their fire with form and become not just the seeker, but the sage who structures the path for others to walk. The Upachaya houses, conscious growth with time, Sagittarius rising part 3. The 6th house, Taurus, grounded service, steady effort, and embodied wisdom, where the philosopher must learn to stay and the explorer is called to refine through routine. For Sagittarius risings, associated with routine, service, illness, conflict, and discipline, falls in Taurus, ruled by Venus. This house challenges the Jupiterian impulse to seek expansion through movement by asking instead for consistency through presence. Taurus, being fixed earth, demands that Sagittarius slow down, root their energy into a physical rhythm, and build something slow, strong, and sustainable. This house is not about visionary leaps, it's about what you do every single day. It's where Sagittarius learns that growth is not only about learning more, but embodying more of what they already know. Here, service becomes an art of care, wellness becomes a ritual, and efficiency becomes an act of love, not control. Let's explore the most defining conjunctions in Taurus that shape Sagittarius rising's mastery of this quietly powerful Upachaya house. Venus plus Moon, the healing homemaker or the emotionally driven worker. This gentle combination softens the Sagittarian energy and roots them in soothing, nurturing labor. They may work in wellness, food, caregiving, or design fields, spaces where emotional and physical care overlap. But if afflicted, this pairing leads to overaccommodation, indulgent avoidance of discomfort, or laziness disguised as balance. They evolve when they honor their need for rest while still committing to discipline, and when comfort becomes a platform for service, not a distraction from it. Venus plus Mars, the balance builder or the passive-aggressive resistor. This blend of desire and drive allows Sagittarius rising to apply energy in measured, graceful action. It supports artistic creation, entrepreneurial service, or physical healing modalities like yoga, massage, or dance therapy. But early on, it can show up as work inconsistencies, perfectionism, or mood-based productivity. Maturity arrives when they stop waiting for inspiration and start honoring the schedule. Letting flow meet form. Venus plus Mercury, the aesthetic organizer or the overthinking avoider. This cerebral and sensual pairing helps Sagittarius rising bring order to beauty and refinement to routine. They may excel in interior design, therapy, scheduling, or detail-oriented service roles. But when afflicted, it leads to overanalysis, indecisiveness in tasks, or procrastination behind perfectionism. They grow when they create systems that support joy. And when they learn that efficiency is not sterile, it's sacred when it frees the mind to dream. Venus plus Saturn, the patient worker or the dutiful overgiver. This karmic blend demands maturity and service. Sagittarius rising here becomes a quietly competent anchor in their field, someone who serves with longevity and grace. It brings loyalty, consistency, and refinement in health or work matters. But when unevolved, it causes guilt around rest, suppression of pleasure, or rigid perfectionism. The breakthrough comes when they allow softness within the structure, and when they treat time not as pressure, but as partnership. Mars plus Saturn, the strong executor or the silent sufferer. This powerhouse stamina, practicality, and no-nonsense resilience. Sagittarius rising becomes capable of doing the hard work behind big visions, perfect for medical, technical, or physical labor roles. But when afflicted, it leads to physical strain, health blocks, or silent resentment in service positions. Mastery begins when they honor limits as intelligent design and see discipline not as restriction, but as devotion to impact. Sun plus Mercury, the service intellectual or the workaholic thinker. This sharp combo gives Sagittarius rising clarity of mind and purpose in practical domains. They may thrive in administration, nutrition, wellness education, or coaching, but it can also lead to burnout from trying to perfect or explain everything. Their maturity unfolds when they balance knowledge with embodiment and stop treating service as proof of worth, allowing it to become an offering instead. Rahu plus Venus, the material fixation or the modern healer. This magnetic but risky conjunction can make Sagittarius rising fascinated by luxury, beauty, or unconventional service systems. They may innovate in wellness, finance, or fashion-forward self-care industries. But Rahu's shadow may draw them into indulgence, comparison, or addiction to lifestyle aesthetics. Their growth occurs when they use beauty to heal, not distract, and when they build routines that serve liberation, not illusion. Moon plus Saturn, the stable supporter or the repressed caregiver. This emotional earthy duo gives Sagittarius rising tremendous resilience and loyalty in caregiving or supportive service roles. They may be the ones others rely on, even when invisible, but when afflicted, it causes emotional exhaustion, internalized guilt, or chronic self-denial. Healing begins when they care for themselves with the same reliability they offer others, and when they understand that service without self-nourishment becomes martyrdom, not mastery. In summary, Taurus in the 6th house teaches Sagittarius rising that purpose must be practiced, not just preached. These conjunctions reveal how fire becomes ritual, how freedom is found through routine, and how service is not beneath the seeker. It is the platform that holds their calling. When integrated, Sagittarius rising becomes not just a teacher of ideas, but a living example of embodied wisdom, steady care, and sacred structure in motion. The Upachaya houses, conscious growth with time, Sagittarius rising part 4. The 10th house, Virgo, public precision, leadership through service, and mastery by refinement. Where the visionary learns execution and the teacher earns authority through application. For Sagittarius rising the 10th house, Karma Bhava, the domain of career, legacy, and public role, falls in Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Here, Jupiter's boundless enthusiasm must bow to Mercury's careful discernment. This is not a stage for preaching, it's a space for problem solving. Virgo demands that Sagittarius rising refine their ideals into systems, transform their big-picture philosophies into small, meaningful steps, and earn respect not through charisma, but through precision, reliability, and humble mastery. This house does not reward broad vision without execution. It asks, can you take your truth and turn it into a service? Can you bring your insight into the structure of something useful? It's where Sagittarius rising matures from the optimistic wanderer into the skilled mentor, coach, consultant, or reformer, trusted not just for what they believe, but for what they consistently build. Let's explore the most defining conjunctions in Virgo that shape Sagittarius rising's evolution in public leadership and service-oriented legacy. Mercury plus Sun, the rational leader or the inflexible professional. This conjunction gives Sagittarius rising strong analytical thinking and confidence in verbal leadership roles. They shine in education, consulting, or systems management. But when unevolved, they may become overly critical, defensive in logic, or intolerant of dissent. Maturity begins when they use intellect as illumination, not validation, and learn to solve more than they explain. Mercury plus Venus, the elegant executor or the image-focused strategist. This blend offers Sagittarius rising poise, grace, and persuasive communication in professional life. They may rise in creative planning, design thinking, or people-centered analytics. But afflicted, it can lead to form over function, crafting ideas that look good but lack practical impact. They evolve when they speak beauty into structure and elevate their values through skilled delivery. Mercury plus Saturn, the master planner or the rigid system builder. This deeply capable pairing turns Sagittarius rising into an unshakable pillar in their field. They excel in administrative precision, policy formation, or sustainable institution building. But when imbalanced, it causes fear of failure, self-doubt, or hyper-perfectionism that blocks movement. Their legacy is secured when they balance excellence with permission to evolve, and remember that mastery is iterative, not frozen. Mercury plus Mars, the technical leader or the combative thinker. This gives Sagittarius rising quick problem-solving abilities and assertive professional, ideal for health sciences, engineering, or tech-savvy education. Yet when afflicted, it leads to reactive speech, micromanagement, or intellectual burnout. They grow when they combine force with finesse and realize that powerful execution doesn't need to shout. Sun plus Saturn, the authoritative builder or the overburdened expert. This karmic pairing bestows Sagittarius rising with slow but steady rise to a respected role. They build careers through long-term accountability, discipline, and clarity of vision. But early life may include blocked success, heavy responsibilities, or struggles with public identity. Their power unfolds when they own their expertise without apology and when they accept recognition as earned, not imposed. Sun plus Venus, the graceful mentor or the recognition-seeking facilitator. This radiant blend gives Sagittarius rising the ability to charm, guide, and uplift in leadership roles. They are magnetic educators, creative professionals, or diplomatic reformers. But when immature, it causes dependence on external praise or avoidance of critical feedback. They flourish when they center authenticity over admiration and let purpose, not popularity, define their legacy. Moon plus Mercury, the emotional analyst or the anxious achiever. This duo blesses Sagittarius rising with emotional intelligence in public-facing roles. They may succeed in mental health, education, or thoughtful communication-based careers. But afflicted, it causes nervous overthinking, fear of failure, or people-pleasing through over-explanation. Growth comes when they honor emotional rhythm while maintaining intellectual clarity. Rahu plus Mercury, the disruptive specialist or the scattered expert. This high-powered combo draws Sagittarius rising toward futuristic roles in digital strategy, AI, or innovation consulting. Their mind is sharp, unconventional, and impactful. But Rahu's distortion can cause anxiety, manipulation through intellect, or inconsistency in direction. Their growth path is clear when they ground innovation in intention, and when their voice serves clarity, not clout. Virgo in the 10th house teaches Sagittarius rising that truth only transforms the world when it is implemented with precision. These conjunctions reveal whether they will merely propose change or lead it through structure, consistency, and measured delivery. The fire of Sagittarius must find its form in Virgo's focused execution. When matured, Sagittarius rising becomes not just a visionary, but a craftsman of change, leading by what they refine, how they serve, and what they leave behind as living systems of growth. The Upachaya houses, Conscious Growth with Time, Sagittarius Rising Part 5. The 11th house, Libra, Balanced Gains, Diplomatic Networks, and Harmonizing the Collective Vision, where the philosopher becomes the collaborator and freedom learns to function in fellowship. For Sagittarius Rising, the 11th house, Labasthana, the realm of social contribution, long-term desires, and community alignment, falls in Libra, ruled by Venus. This is where the archer's independence and expansive ideologies must now interface with others. Libra asks, can you shape your vision to include beauty, cooperation, and shared value? Can your truth translate into a collective rhythm? After Virgo in the 10th house challenges Sagittarius to deliver with structured excellence, Libra in the 11th brings the soft power of aesthetics, diplomacy, and social grace. It's not just about what you gain, but how your gains uplift others. This house rewards those who shift from being the inspired lone wolf into the harmonizer of diverse voices, the cultivator of conscious communities. Let's explore the defining conjunctions in Libra that shape Sagittarius rising's evolution in friendships, social karma, and visionary alliances. Venus plus Mercury, the strategic diplomat or the approval-seeking communicator. This elegant pair gives Sagittarius rising eloquence and tact in social and intellectual networks. They may excel in advocacy, media, branding, or community-building projects where aesthetics meet intellect. But when immature, it can lead to indecision, over-accommodation, or masking truth to maintain peace. Growth happens when they speak with beauty and still say what matters, realizing that grace and honesty aren't opposites. They're allies. Venus plus Mars, the charismatic collaborator or the romantic idealist. This blend gives Sagittarius rising a magnetic, creative energy in group contexts. They often attract strong friendships, artistic peers, or passionate allies, ideal for social enterprise, performance collectives, or justice-oriented work. But afflicted, it results in blurred boundaries, competition masked as cooperation, or romantic distractions in teamwork. Maturity arrives when they let desire fuel direction, not confusion, and keep purpose ahead of persona. Venus plus Sun, the social star or the vanity-driven visionary. This radiant combo brings natural social popularity and charm. Sagittarius rising can become a leader in elegant causes, influential groups, or artistic activism. But if unevolved, they may prioritize style over substance or chase admiration over aligned progress. Their evolution lies in using visibility to elevate harmony and remembering that legacy is built through what we give to the group, not how well we're seen by it. Moon plus Venus, the gentle connector or the overinvested ally. This sweet pairing gives Sagittarius rising deep emotional attunement in community. They are the empathic glue of groups, creating safe emotional spaces in their networks. But when afflicted, it causes codependency, over-identification with group identity, or a fear of individual assertion. Their wisdom deepens when they nurture without dissolving into others, and when emotional resonance includes personal sovereignty. Mercury-Saturn, the systems builder or the social skeptic. This strategic combo gives Sagittarius rising the mental discipline to organize visionary projects, build nonprofit ecosystems, or craft long-term educational platforms. They may initially struggle with social ease or fear not fitting in, but over time they earn respect through reliability and thoughtfulness. Maturity unfolds when they trust their structure to support others, not isolate from them. Sun Rahu, the trend-setting reformer, or the recognition-driven performer. This ambitious pairing pulls Sagittarius rising toward large-scale visibility through progressive or even provocative group involvement. They may lead digital movements, political coalitions, or avant-garde collectives. But Rahu's hunger can distort purpose, creating obsession with fame or identity entanglement in group causes. Their dharma ripens when they align their platform with service, not self-branding, and let the message be louder than the megaphone. The compassionate strategist or the burdened peacemaker. This blend gifts Sagittarius rising with emotional maturity and a deep sense of responsibility in social spaces. They're often the silent stabilizer of group dynamics, but early on, it can bring emotional reserve, loneliness in community, or exhaustion from always holding peace. Their path clears when they learn to receive support and understand that holding space for others includes making room for themselves. Rahu plus Mercury, the disruptive innovator or the scattered collaborator. This intellectual high-voltage pairing gives Sagittarius rising a genius for social media, digital strategy, or reform-focused communication. They can spearhead idea-driven alliances or viral content creation, but afflicted, it breeds burnout, erratic group behavior, or mentally chaotic pursuits. Their mastery begins when they streamline their brilliance into systems and translate sparks of genius into steps that stick. In summary, Libra in the 11th house teaches Sagittarius rising that impact is a shared art. These conjunctions show how the archer must temper conviction with grace and turn personal vision into collective elevation. They are called to lead not just through belief, but through balance, beauty, and bridge building. When integrated, Sagittarius rising becomes not just the visionary, but the harmonizer of high ideals, refining the world through community, clarity, and quiet charisma.